soul of the city.
What is going on, St. Louis City fans and MLS fanatics? Welcome back to another episode of Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media. Today is Sunday, March the 24th, and last night St. Louis played DC United for their first ever meeting in MLS. Played to a 2-2 draw. Obviously, the referees were a big conversation in this one. While we don't really like to talk too much about the referees, it was a big factor in this game. Over 31 fouls called in this game, and it really broke up a lot of the play. What were you guys' initial thoughts on the game last night?
Go for it.
Like you said, I mean, what stands out, unfortunately, is the refs. And I guess the silver lining is there's been news that an agreement has been reached, right?
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
With the regular refs. So I know we were complaining about them last year, but it's somehow gotten worse.
Don't worry, they're coming back just to really ruin our day.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the other story is Stroud and Bartlett return.
Stroud, masterclass performance.
Unfortunately, yes.
Has made all of us on this podcast eat our words. I think we've been quite reflectional in this season of Soul of the City on Jared Stroud. I think in the Houston game, we talked a lot about him as someone who brought a different kind of a dog energy. And it was something that we were missing in that Dynamo game where we were bounced from CONCACAF. But obviously in the moment last year, we were not fans of Stroud.
Last night, you saw everything that Jared Stroud is and was for St. Louis City and is as a player currently. I mean, the ball he whips into Benteke for the first goal is like pinpoint laser cross. And then he also gets the actual assist on the second goal to, what was it?
It was Benteke on the second. It was
that's right. And DiPietro puts it in after Benteke's.
Yeah, a little tap in.
Yeah. And then there were probably 5 or 6 times while we were live streaming where you would see Stroud coming up the pitch with the ball on like kind of a counterattack scenario because we were playing from behind last night. They had a lot of people behind the ball. And he hit his classic little 180, turn it around, send it back towards the defense. I was just like, dude, he's
the same guy.
He's the same guy. And you got to love him and hate him at the same time. But he kind of showed us why we should be missing him last night.
Chance creation.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, nobody could hit. So obviously the lineup in this game changes. We bring in Sam and Klaus to play with each other up top in kind of the 4-2-2-2. Durkin and Ostrak are playing the deep midfield. Indy and AZ, and then Klaus and Adeniran. Tim Parker's still out. Doer comes in for Marcanic. Not really Doer's night. I don't know. What did you guys think about him? He was obviously in the first batch of substitutions by Carnell. What did you guys think of his performance?
I was pretty excited for his starting opportunity, and I'm not going to be surprised when he goes back to the bench for a while because I think he pretty much squandered it. I don't know if it's totally his fault on the first goal where he doesn't close out Stroud. I think it's just a nice goal. Yeah. And then the second one, him and Nielsen don't really communicate in any way. Kind of let somebody slip past them as they both collapse on the ball. Gets played in between them. He wasn't good enough defensively to kind of warrant the loss in attacking production that we see when we play Marcanic from that position. So I think he'll probably go back to the bench and spend some more time in the training ground.
Honestly, I feel like he started off doing all right, but then I think he just faded really early. So I don't know if that's because he missed part of the preseason and just hasn't been really getting that many minutes. But I think probably for the rest of the season, we're going to see them one of the first subs every game. Marcanic for Deer or Deer for Marcanic, whichever happens to start.
And it's very unfortunate because obviously John Nelson never worked out at left back. We had to play Hebert for a long time. We bring in Marcanic halfway through the season last year. He started off decently, I felt like defensively Marcanic did, and kind of tailed off towards the end of the season. And now we bring in another left back, this time from Europe. And obviously, he's still new at the club, but this left back position seems to be a bit of a rutted position for St. Louis City.
big thorn in our side, quite literally.
Yeah.
I will say I definitely like Marcanic and Deere better than Nelson,
True.
Pedro, Hebert, any of those guys from
Yeah.
last year that
Yeah.
we started with. So even though we maybe haven't found our permanent solution there, I think we're making progress, and I think either one of them is good enough to at least be a backup.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I just think it's so interesting, especially as the transfer market will continue to be open up until I think the end of April, maybe early May. I forget. I know it goes into the summer. And I saw some people on Twitter talking about left back to go sign the third DP, and it's like that would, I feel like, be kind of a wasted position considering how much we've already invested there. It's just that third DP slot is just, it's kind of weird for St. Louis right now. I don't even know where you would want to pick up a player. It's kind of changed. I feel like our opinions on it have changed. I know Milo will say center back.
Yeah.
I know some of us think striker. It's very difficult.
I don't even think it's striker anymore. I think we need someone that can kind of float across the wide midfield and central midfield areas in kind of an attacking sense. I think that right now Vasilev isn't really cutting it out on the right for me. And when we talk about the lineup for this game, Celio didn't start, which I think is a horrendous squad choice by Carnell. And you saw that we had basically no attacking production in any creative sense until he came onto the pitch.
It's so true.
And then we also see the classic Sam and Klaus up top, which I don't know how many times we're going to have to see it to know that it doesn't work.
Yeah,
that's
but-
what I was going to say. Like, looking at that starting lineup, I mean, we've seen it a couple times this season, and it just hasn't worked for us at all this year. I know maybe it worked a little bit better last year, but when I saw that lineup with Sam and Klaus in there together, I immediately thought, like, great. We're not like, it's just going to look disjointed, which it was. We're not going to be able to connect any passes in the front, in that third.
And the deep midfield just wants to hoof it up there to either one of them. And I think we saw that for majority of the first half and then into the second half as well, that it was just like, all right, let's pick our heads up. And at the same time, we did play with more possession. I believe we outpossessed them like 57 to 43 or something like that.
Yeah, but that's
completed double their passes.
It's a product of playing from behind. Like, we give up an early goal, which we did have some opportunities to score them early in this game. The one that comes to mind, I think, most is Sam kind of getting in behind and then having a right-footed shot that he puts wide left, I believe.
Yeah, it was Bartlett went for a juggle and Sam strips him.
Yeah, and then gets him behind.
Definitely not missing Bartlett as much as Stroud.
No, definitely not. But I don't think he had like a horrendous game either because neither of our strikers scored except for a penalty. So, I mean,
yeah,
I guess the next thing we can kind of get into is what's going on with Klaus, because I don't think he looks anything like he used to. And if he's going to continue to play like this, I don't think we can start him. And I mean, even after he got the goal last night, I thought he looked a little more lively, like he cared a bit more, had a bit more into the game and was kind of getting in better spots. And, the product of that is Celio coming on the field and kind of opening up spaces for everybody. Yeah. But I just feel like he looks bad in a way that we really didn't see him look all of last season. Do you guys think Sam's just kind of the nailed-on starter now and Klaus is a bench option? Or
my thinking after we gave Klaus the penalty last night is he converts it, his confidence goes back up, and maybe we see him perform. Truthfully, I mean, I would like to see Klaus probably start against Salt Lake next week just because he does now have, his first goal of the season. Maybe it's the confidence boost that he needed. But I totally agree with you that he has not looked the player he was last season. And it's really unfortunate that, with Leuven out, he's the only DP on the field, and we need him to step up.
Yeah, we need Leuven back. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Luckily, last night at the end of the game, we got to see Blom come back into the midfield.
True.
And he looked like the
Phenomenal.
stalwart that he is.
Oh, God, I love
that
the
man.
lad.
I mean, Durkin, playing against his old team, he looked great. I mean, once again, singing his praises, like him or Totland, obviously signing of the summer, but I think Durkin is just so good for us.
I think I'd definitely give it to Totland just because he starts every game. And never really shies away from a challenge or anything. Not that Durkin does. He scares me, honestly, with the way he goes into some tackles. Yeah. But if I were to like kind of pick on Durkin a little bit, I feel like as soon as he wins the ball back for us, he is far too anxious on the ball, and like immediately, I don't know if it's coached. It could be coached that like as soon as he wins it back, he wants to thread the needle and get Sam in behind.
Yeah.
But there were like 3 or 4 opportunities last night where he wins it back in the midfield and just boots it back to them because he's trying to play it into Sam, but Sam's not there. So.
Right. Yeah, his defensive ability definitely outweighs what he can do in transition, and that's what I feel like we miss with Blom pretty frequently. Is Blom is like really the complete package. So hopefully he's going to be healthy and ready to start again here soon. I do feel like with Leuven out, Blom plus Durkin is going to be an interesting midfield like lineup. I don't know. How do you guys think that would go?
I mean, yeah, because like you said, Durkin, he's very solid defensively, as is Blom. I honestly wonder if Blom would be given more room to like attack and go forward up the pitch.
I'd be here for it.
We haven't really seen him do that much. I mean, obviously, sort of. But like usually it's Leuven or Vasilev or whoever is playing with Blom that's allowed to do that. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, start Celio.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's one takeaway from the starting lineup, it's start Celio, because I think even if we start Celio, the Sam Klaus pairing looks better.
Yeah,
because even with both of them on the pitch as after Celio came on, it still looked pretty good.
Yeah,
like I don't know, man. We're definitely hurting for some creativity and some kind of complementary players in the attack. Shout out Nicolas Jawakini, because that's kind of the player that we can. I see us missing right now is that kind of player that's going to play off of somebody else, not necessarily like try to force the opportunities.
It's true. Adeniran and Klaus are just too they're not the same profile, but they're too independent. They both just want the opportunity. I think there was a few moments where Klaus and Adeniran had opportunities to pass, taking
to each other.
Yeah, and instead just took the shot on. God.
You all right there?
Something got lodged there. Yeah, they just can't start together, unfortunately. We are absolutely missing Gioacchini. That creativity is not there. I went and looked, in our last 7 goals that we've scored, 5 of them have been from set piece opportunities.
Both of them last night.
Yep. And Berkey had a quote after the game and is like, we're not going to be up to the task of winning if the only goals that we score are from set pieces.
Yeah, you just can't rely on that.
Yeah. So he was obviously frustrated. Carnell had a good quote in regards to the officiating of the game and said that he felt bad for the fans. He was like, I feel bad that our fans paid all that money to come to the game and they had to deal with all of those stoppages of play, no real cohesiveness in the game. And that's just a testament to the refereeing in this game. I mean, 31 fouls is a ton of fouls.
How many yellow cards were there?
I think there was 4.
I don't think there were that many yellows. He wasn't like too quick to give it out, but I think you saw at the end of the game in that. First of all, I don't know how there was like 10 minutes of stoppage time. Although we, could have scored in that. So
yeah,
fine that it was
VAR review, I guess.
Yeah.
I know Bono, their goalie, was down for a while. He was like 10-2. Was that in the first half or the second half?
No, that was the second
it was
half.
Late.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, I think I saw a stat on Twitter that said, so we played over the 10 minutes. We played like 14 or 15 minutes. And apparently in those 15 minutes, the ball was only in play for 4.5 minutes.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you saw it in that last 14, 15 minutes in extra time. It became such an evident power trip on behalf of the main referee and the players that it was just basically unwatchable. Like, we even created what I think was a pretty good opportunity with the Thoresen chance in that extra time. And that's like less, prominent in my mind than basically the ref and like all the players just arguing with each other and him calling petty fouls because he's pissed off that the players are acting this way.
Right. Yeah, it was like there was several set pieces where he called these fouls. Nobody's on the ground. You can't even see anybody visibly being touched. They show us a replay and it's like where is this guy seeing a foul?
I don't know. He definitely was seeing ghosts out there.
He was the man of the match for sure, and he made sure that he got that title.
Yeah.
I saw St. Louis City's man of the match was Josh Yarrow. That's who they announced was the man of the match.
I
for
guess.
his goal.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he was the better center back today over Nielsen. So
yeah, Nielsen in this game worried me. I remember there was one chance that broke for Benteke.
Oh, when Nielsen does a spike, basically?
Yeah, he's trying to catch up to Benteke and just lunges at it from behind Benteke, totally whiffs. Ultimately, it doesn't come to a goal or anything, but he had me worried last night.
I think there was a great Josh Yarrow challenge that stopped that shot from going in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah. Okay, man of the match, Yarrow makes sense. I'm looking for it.
I think it's either got to be him or it's got to be Celio. But
which is crazy to say, given he had 20 minutes on the field.
Yeah, one of our last subs.
I looked at his FOT mob, and he came on, played 33 minutes, completed the most dribbles in the game, and created the most chances in the game.
Yeah,
in 33 minutes.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
so that man
fucking start him, bro.
That man needs to start.
So if you're starting him, who are you pulling off the field that started this past game?
I would think, I don't know. It's kind of weird because AZ probably wants to play on the left, but that's where Celio wants to go. I don't really want to see Celio on the right. I would think maybe Indy, truthfully. I don't think he's had some opportunities so far, but in this game he really was silent. I would probably see him drop to the bench in place of Celio. It also depends if we.
I think it's Klaus or Sam.
Yeah,
we don't want to see them together. I think
true.
You pull one of them off the pitch, put AZ back up top like we saw a couple games ago, where he actually had the game of his life up there when we were playing LA. I think he looked really good, and then put Celio back on that left hand side. One thing I want to talk about is this is something that we can kind of attribute to both Carnell and then also missing probably our biggest leader on the pitch, Timmy P.
And Leuven.
And Leuven, yes. But we concede right after we score, far too often. I think it's 3 games running that we have scored a goal and within 2 minutes conceded a goal, which that's just mentality. That's all keeping your head in the game, people that are the leaders on the team, making sure everybody is focused and ready to play when they need to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just seen that 3 games straight, and it's pissed me off.
I mean, it's got to be demoralizing for a team that, I think obviously this game, was it the equalizer that we scored and then they took the lead right back?
Mm-hmm.
It's great. We just did all that work, fought back. We finally tied it up, and then boom, right back to square one.
It was a carbon copy of the Austin game.
Yeah, and
we did the exact same thing.
It just takes the wind out of you, and especially for us, who's a team that, with our high press and high attacking system, that demoralization is just really, really bad for the team and really bad for the press, and it takes the fans out of the game too.
Yeah, I was about to say, especially at home, I know what it's like watching at home, what it feels like to score a goal. You were riding that high, and then you just look up and fucking we're back down. All that hard work that we just put in is gone, and it is just so demoralizing. It's good that we're able to come back in those scenarios, but I think that we need to just hold firm the lead that we have and score a winning goal, because we've seen 3 draws straight now, which it's not a loss, but it's kind of not that fun to watch. Last week's was an enjoyable game. This week I wanted to rip my hair out.
Yeah,
that game was bad to watch.
And I know on the live stream you had said it was because last episode I had said, we haven't really seen a boring game from St. Louis yet. I've been excited
why'd you jinx it?
I totally jinxed it, and you had made the comment it's is it just because we're playing bad? And it was a mix of that. We were playing bad, but it was also just the referee just stopping play every second. The game had no cohesiveness whatsoever. So it was just unfortunate last night. We should have walked away with 3 from that game, even though the chances never truly came. There was one set piece opportunity that I remember. It was like a back post ball to Nilsson. Adeniran's making a run to like the penalty spot, and
Heads it back
all
to
his
him.
opportunities were like on his weak foot last night for Sam.
Sadly.
So he was unable to finish like anything.
That's why, I mean, I don't really understand look, you can play your strikers kind of wherever you want. They're all running through the middle of the field. They can kind of go wherever they want. But like playing Sam on the left-hand side and Klaus on the right-hand side is totally inverse of the way that I would think you should play it, because you want those players to be cutting inside and shooting. So you would rather cut in from the left and shoot with your right if you're Klaus, cut in from the right and shoot with your left if you're Sam. And they're like playing on the wrong side of the pitch. So I mean, I don't know what they're doing there, but they need to work it out. So
yeah, that takes me back to the Adeniran goal against Salt Lake City this season, where he just like nicks the ball over the center back from Salt Lake and just charges forward and finishes so clean with his right. I think we talked about it, and somebody said that it was maybe savable. Yeah, with his left. And just a great finish. And it's like, well, he's never going to get that. He's just going to have to smash it near post every time, playing on the left up there.
Which we saw against NYC, I think,
Yeah.
was, he smashed it near post, and it's something he can do. But
Yeah, but that's a very low percent.
it is. It's a low percentage opportunity. And, last night he had two pretty high percentage opportunities on his fall to his right foot and not get finished. I think the other big talking point, especially last night in the live stream, we were kind of talking about it a bit, was the penalty that we ended up getting. So Celio kind of is able to juggle the ball past, I don't know if it was Bartlett or...
He does make Stroud fall on that play.
Yeah, that's
Totally
true.
takes Stroud out. Then gets a flick pass. And it was this defender for DC. It was his first MLS start
Oh, really?
ever. Yeah.
Welcome to the league.
Yeah, seriously. Meet the MLS
Antley?
Neymar.
Was it Antley?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and totally takes Celio out. But Celio, like, gets back up immediately and plays a ball in. And you'd think, like,
I
okay,
think he
well...
takes a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you would think, okay, well, he got the chance away, It's unfortunate that he stayed up with it. I feel like in other leagues around the world, like, they're just going to give him that opportunity and call it. I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
No, I think other leagues around the world, like the Prem and Bundesliga and stuff, you
We'll
would
go
see
back.
that get looked at. I was so surprised that they looked at it because he got up, continued playing, and we had some kind of opportunity from the foul. I'm glad that happened. Like, they went back and looked at it, because I don't want to have to look at our players and be like, yo, if you get fouled even slightly, if it's not like that bad of a foul, go down and stay down.
Yeah.
Like, it's no longer a play the whistle scenario. It's like you got to create that opportunity for them to go look at it on VAR. So them going back and doing it was actually a credit to the refereeing team last night. One positive, but
Well, I feel like I would have been extremely mad if I was DC United and they came back and looked at that. Like, I don't think that really is a credit to the refereeing when you compare it to, like, how every other game is ever called ever. Like, in that situation, I feel like 99% of refs would have played the advantage, a.k.a. let Celio get up, keep moving. And then once he takes that shot, then, like, that is the advantage. Like, he could have scored there, or he could have made a better pass.
yeah.
And so, like, I think that them going back and giving the pen, like, obviously I'm glad that it worked out for us, but, like, I was definitely scratching my head when it happened.
Lucky.
Yeah.
I think it was lucky because I just wish he would have called the foul initially, because it was a foul. Kind of a soft foul, but it was a foul on Celio.
And just a testament to Celio's hunger, like the fact that he doesn't
stay down.
He could have easily just stumbled to the ground.
Yeah.
And he totally catches
he
himself and
fell
stays with it.
and got up.
You know who would have stayed down? Joe Aquini.
Joe Aquini.
That is very true.
Surely.
He would have been screaming.
So,
What about Ostrak's performance?
yeah, I mean, he wasn't bad. I don't think it was a nothing performance. Like, he was a positive player out there on the pitch for us. I don't know. Last night, I thought that Dewar had a rough showing. I thought Nielsen had a rough showing. And Vasilev was pretty non-existent. But
Yeah.
I think everybody else on the pitch was doing something.
Vasilev obviously notches an assist from the set piece.
Yeah, that's true.
But like that was like is a set piece like from open play. He really wasn't getting it done.
No, he wasn't.
Leuven's probably playing that same ball in. So
You never know. It's left foot versus right foot.
who do you guys think so far this season our top 3 players are? I have mine cemented in my brain.
All right, go, since you already know yours. I need to think.
Roman Bürki, number 1, undisputed best player on the team.
Okay.
Number 2, got to be Thomas Totland. I think he is phenomenal. And my third, the third's kind of a toss-up because it's like between Tim Parker and Leuven. Tim Parker, obviously, because his leadership role is kind of unmatched on the team, and Leuven because he's like the midfield engine that we really cannot get a lot done
Without.
creativity-wise. Like, yeah, AZ can create a chance here and there, but Leuven's the engine, and without him, I don't think the team runs as well. In my humble onion.
That's fair. I think Bürki has to be number 1. He's just saved us in so many games so far.
That save that he had on the initial Benteke header was fucking crazy.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
But I think that I'm surprised you got Totland in there. Well, not surprised. I'm more surprised that Tim Parker versus Leuven. I think Celio is a lock top 3 player for us this year.
Yeah.
I think him not being on the pitch, we look awful. And as soon as he comes on, we look like we might actually score a goal.
Great shout.
But yeah, I'd say Totland probably 3 then for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to say my 3 have been Durkin, Celio, and I was going to say Totland, but probably Bürki, actually. We would probably have lost, I don't know, how many, like 4 more, like all of the games that we tied.
Every
we probably
game.
would have lost.
So I
without
went
Bürki.
back, and when I was cooking up that Adeniran edit, bro, there are so many games that we played last season where Bürki makes 2 or 3 phenomenal saves in a 1-goal game that we absolutely should have lost. And it's just like insane to like his value is so underrated, I feel like. And like, yeah, he was goalkeeper of the season, so you could say maybe he's averagely rated. I think he's still underrated. Like,
Really?
he brings so much fucking value to this team.
I mean, he still makes the kind of insane reaction saves really well. There's been a few times where I'm like, dude, you could do better on that when it seems like a more routine kind of save and he doesn't make it. But overall, I mean, he's probably throughout the first 2 seasons the best player on our team by a lot and has been worth every penny that we've paid him. I feel like I'd kind of like to get into most disappointing players this far this season.
Top 3 most disappointing.
Yeah, I think Klaus is up there
Yep.
on mine. And then I think another shout for it, I feel like Nielsen has not been what he is cracked up to be. I don't know if we need to get some more quality around him and kind of the fact that he is playing with what we don't think is a starting caliber left back with either Marcanic or Dewar on that left-hand side is kind of hurting his performance level. But I thought he was cracked up to be like Leuven, Bürki, like caliber in the kind of center back role, whereas Tim Parker has been the main man.
True.
And will continue to be the main man back there.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see more out of Nielsen. And then, yeah, Klaus needs to step it up. We need some goals, man.
Yeah. I'm totally in line with you on that. I would say like Marcanic, but I mean he's still barely been around for a full year. And I think he still has some potential. I think he's got potential upside. Disappointing. I mean, I would say like Indy, but
That's what I was going to say.
But like he just has flashes of brilliance, I feel like. And it's just not come to anything yet, and I think that's what's the most disappointing about him.
I feel like with Indy, I was expecting more because I feel like at the start of last year, AZ, Celio, and Indy were all kind of like, you could tell there was something there, like, it's going to get better over time. And like we've seen that with AZ and Celio, but it just seems like Indy has not progressed in the way that the other two have. So I think he's a kind of a disappointment for me in that sense. And then obviously Klaus, I feel like Nielsen and Marcanic are kind of like
Too early to tell.
I don't want to call them disappointing just yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're doing okay. I mean, obviously Nielsen has to play with Yarrow instead of Tim Parker for a lot of the games.
Mm-hmm.
He's slow, like very slow. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
But
That NYCFC game was where everyone was like, "Oh, he's
And
really slow."
I think that's why he did that like bicycle attempt.
Yeah, because
on
he's like, "I'm not
Benteke.
beating him to it."
He's like,
Yeah.
if this bounces any further, I'm getting dusted. So I think he just went for it, and
Yeah.
it didn't work. But I don't want to call him a disappointment just yet.
Okay.
So I
Fair
only
enough.
have two: Klaus and Indy.
I did like your point, Ian, about, is it with Nielsen that, he's forced to play with a left back who isn't the best defensively? Is that what's taking down his performances? Could be. But yeah, I think, Jonah, you're nail on the head. It's probably too early to tell.
Yeah, that's totally fair. So kind of looking forward, we're playing Real next week. Real
Mhm.
Salt Lake.
Real Madrid.
Madrid.
And it's why are we playing Salt Lake after we just
Again,
played them
yeah, I
3
know.
weeks ago?
The scheduling really does not make a lot of sense. I mean, you don't even get to play like every team in the MLS throughout the season. Like it's our first time playing DC United ever, and it's our second season.
And we
So-
play Austin in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Houston again in 5 weeks. Like it's so odd. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. If we're kind of looking at the table right now, Minnesota is the best team in the West with 10 points, 3 wins, and a draw. LA Galaxy, who we drew last week in LA, looks like a lot better result now. Has played 5 games, and they have won 2 and drawn 3. So they have a game up on a lot of teams. Not us, though. So right now we are tied for third with Vancouver, Portland, LAFC, Real Salt Lake, and Houston. And then we set 1 spot ahead of Sporting Kansas City. So
Yeah.
suck on that, Kansas
Suck
City.
on that, bums. Yeah, they lost to LA Galaxy last night.
3-2
3-2.
thriller.
Being up 2-0.
Yep.
Yeah. So what do you guys think we're going to roll out with next week in Salt Lake?
Man, if Celio doesn't start, I'm going to find out where Carnell lives. Pay him a visit. Just to have a friendly chat, though.
Yeah, just a friendly chat.
just to nudge him in the right direction.
Yeah.
I honestly, if you remember last year, Klaus had a great performance in Salt Lake last year.
If I remember correctly, in Salt Lake, we looked like shit until the 50th minute,
And then we
scored
scored
4 goals in 10 minutes, and the game was over. So
that's what I remember as well.
yeah, I was like, well, we don't look very good. Wouldn't be surprised if we take an L here and then walk away and come back and it was over.
What do you guys think about playing a 4-2-3-1, Blom, Durkin, double pivot, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Celio on the left, AZ in the middle, Rasmus Alm on the right,
I wouldn't be surprised to see him starting, yeah.
and Joao Klaus, striker.
I can't believe I'm about to say this. I think I'd rather have Ostrak starting than Rasmus Alm
Whoa.
or Indy.
Whoa.
Damn.
It's like that, huh?
It's
It
the
is.
redemption arc right now.
I would like to see Durkin Blom double pivot with Ostrak in the middle in front of them.
Okay.
And then AZ over on the side, maybe.
We haven't really seen 4-2-3-1 very often this season. It's been either 4-2-2-2-2 or 4-4-2 with AZ playing that second striker role.
I mean, even if we are going to do the 4-2-2-2 and we just throw AZ up there as the second striker, I think that's looked pretty good.
yeah,
And then just Ostrak and Celio as the 2.
wide midfielders.
Yeah. And then Durkin Blom double pivot. I'd like to see that.
Hopefully Tim Parker's back.
Yeah, who's starting next week at left back? Are you seeing Dewar or Marcanic?
I think Marcanic probably returns.
Okay.
That's my
to-
guess. But it
to
really is a
me-
coin flip.
To me, they're exactly the same. I
guess.
don't see any difference in them, honestly.
Both of them scare me.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's a fair point.
I want to see the starter subbed off in the 60th minute, no matter what.
And that's it. Yeah, I mean, it's so... weird that he didn't come out and really play that well, considering last week when we played LA, like Paintsel was giving Marcanic a fucking
The business.
Giving him the business.
He was giving him the business, and Dewar came on and kind of locked him up a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't very effective after that.
I wonder if it was just like
Fresh legs.
well, fresh legs, and like Carnell can literally be like, all right, you see Paintsel over there? Yeah, make sure he does not get to run in behind for free.
Yeah, this other dude on the team isn't listening to me, so you're gonna go in and you're gonna do what I tell you to do.
And then this week, he didn't get the assignment of, okay, I know you don't know Jared Stroud, but you need to be on him
Respect his game.
like butter on toast. Like,
Bro,
Even if he gets the ball and just turns straight around, stay with him, okay?
I
He
saw-
might do something crazy.
I saw Jared Stroud hit a croqueta last night, and I was just flabbergasted.
I did not see that. I totally missed that.
I'll have to see the TikTok edits of the Jared Stroud coqueta before I believe it.
I hope there's a diehard DC United fan making Jared Stroud edits.
Me too. Well, didn't he bang one against Miami too?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah,
did.
he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, then they lost
Um,
like 4-1 or 3-1 or something.
I mean, we should have known he was going to come back here and kind of give us the business because we chatted so much shit last year, and then the warning signs were there. We had people in the supporters section kind of talking to us on the phone. They were like, man, he hasn't missed a shot in warm-ups, bro.
Calling it in.
These have all been top 90. I'm
was
like,
locked
dude,
in.
don't worry. He did that all last season for us, and he would just walk out there and pass the ball to the other team.
That is
So-
hilarious. Yeah, I checked his pass rating after the game. He passed at 50% last night, but he played in some delicious balls. You can't argue that.
Basically assisted 2 goals. So,
Yeah.
like,
Hockey assist and regular assist.
Yeah.
Man. All
Yeah.
right. Well, we have to
do our
look at
Western rundown.
Western Conference. What do I call it?
I don't know what you
Walk
call
around.
it.
Walk around. I thought I had
That
an
is not what he
alliteration. I
called
thought
it.
I had an alliteration, but I don't think that I do.
Weston wound up.
The
The
Western wrap
wound
up.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so let's see. So last night we had Orlando taking on Austin FC. Orlando beat them 2-0 in Orlando. Vancouver
Expected.
taking on Salt Lake in Vancouver. Salt Lake getting that victory 1-2. Obviously, we talked about Sporting Kansas City versus LA Galaxy. Sporting Kansas City concede 3 after going up 2-0 to lose 2-3. Colorado taking on Houston in Colorado. Houston scored a last-minute winner by Mr. Clean himself, the bald man, Brad Smith. 1-0 win there. LAFC absolutely decimating Nashville, 5-0 in LA. It's a pretty big result.
Yeah, I got the MLS TV notification that was like the Golden Boot race is on. Buanga versus Hani Mukhtar, and it was not on last night.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
gonna be.
Buanga scored 2.
It's looking like Golden Boot's going to be in LA with Joveljic and Boanga.
And Boanga,
Joveljic had a goal last night. Portland versus Philadelphia. Portland losing 1-3 at home to Philly. Portland extremely unlucky in this game. They were cooking Philly in the first half.
Really?
Very unlucky to not get a goal. And then San Jose with their first win of the season, beating Seattle at home 3-2.
Seattle looking like scum off the pond, bottom of the table. They are they're
they?
looking poor.
I thought they were supposed to be good this year.
I thought so too. I'm not gonna lie. I thought people were saying they were gonna be, kind of
Oh, wow.
a problem, but they're
No wins.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
signed
look.
that Argentinian wonder kid, De La Vega, who's hurt with a muscle injury till mid-April. He's kind of he's like, I think their young DP. He was supposed to be something special, some kind of messy something or other, whatever they talk
all right.
about.
I don't know about
Messi.
Messi.
Whatever they
Again.
talk about the Argentinian wonder kids, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, they had Leo Chu injured as well.
That's rough. What's the score prediction for next week? Are we gonna get a dub in Salt Lake like we did last time?
Hopefully it's not a snow game. Did you guys see the snow game in Salt Lake
Against LA.
against LA?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, if
They
we
beat them 3-0.
yeah, if we see that, yikes, that's going to be a bad look.
Although all of our Norwegian slash
They're
that area.
prepped. They're ready.
Yeah. That's their home conditions.
Yeah, time to start Nukvi immediately. Start Rasmus Alm. Start Nilsson. Start all of
Tolland,
the
all those
all of them.
Northerners.
Man, I don't know. I kind of want to give a sad prediction just because I want to be correct.
You're going to pull the Mickey card?
I'm going to say we lose 2-1.
Isn't that what they did to us here?
No, we 1-1 tied.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, we did tie 1-1.
Yeah, I think we're going to just get another tie, man. I don't know. I guess that's just what we do now.
I can't bear to see another draw.
Hey,
so.
Invincible season's still on.
Hey,
Am I right, fellas?
It is.
You're not wrong.
We'll somehow not make the playoffs, but be invincible if we stay at this rate.
FanVan tweeted 8-26-0 still makes it to the playoffs.
8-26-0.
I think 26 being draws.
Dude,
so.
if we can draw 20-something games this season, that would be a record that will never get torn down.
I don't want
kind
that
of
record.
Yeah, it's kind of a disgusting record.
Yeah, I don't want to be a part of that. So let's try and get a win here. Stay undefeated at the very least. I'm gonna go 2-0. I think Sam's gonna start and bag one, and then maybe Ostrak gets another goal. Let's see him back in the lineup. And
I think King
banging one in.
Klaus is going to start since he scored that penalty, and Carnell will be hoping he's very confident.
Back on track.
There's no way any manager can watch somebody score a penalty and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm finna start him
he's
next week
ready.
because he just banged one this week."
He's ready. That's what I'd be thinking. He's ready.
He just needs
ready.
the confidence boost, man.
That's true. Arsenal did it for Kai Havertz, and now look.
Waka waka hey.
So
All
when's
right.
Leuven going to be back? Do we have
I think there's.
This is supposed to be his reevaluation time
Period.
frame is this week.
Here, I
And
can
what
see
about
what they say.
any? Timothy.
Timothy, I don't really know.
So
It
it says Leuven mid-April. Same thing with Timmy P.
So we're late March still?
Correct. So at least one more game week, maybe two, without the boys. The spine of our team, as some people on this pod have said before.
I think that's a Let's Finish Steel quote.
Yeah.
All right. That's all we got, folks.
That's all, folks.
Thanks for tapping into this episode. We will see you at the live stream on Saturday, 8:30. Be there or be square. Thanks, y'all.
Peace. Thank you for watching this episode of Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media and Anchor FM. Make sure to check us out on YouTube at First Touch Media, and all of our socials are at First Touch 314. Thank you for watching.